What's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of The Herd Truth. I'm your boy, Danny Farrar. I am the founder of Soldier Fit. I am the founder of the nonprofit Platoon 22, published author of our book about to be released called Into the Storm, and most importantly, I am the creator of theHERD, the 90-day advanced training program of Soldier Fit. And why are we called The Herd Truth? Because on every single episode, I'm going to give you that hard truth that you don't want to hear. But in the herd, we teach people to embrace the mindset of the buffalo or the bison for my people out in the Midwest that are going to correct me in the comment sections. We want you to embrace that mindset of head down, horns up. And in order to do that, then you need to start listening, hearing, and accepting the herd truth. And so what I wanted to make sure that we touch on, we have to touch on this, is that the reason so many people are unable to lose weight, maintain that loss, and actually get the physique that they're looking for is they believe in marathon training, marathon sessions. Now listen, in a world that is driven by some of the hardest motherfuckers you'll ever meet, the David Goggins, the Cameron Haynes, the Andy Frisellas with 75 Hard, men that I admire and respect dramatically. One thing that I want to make sure that you understand is that, listen, do people like Cameron Haynes and do people like David Goggins have an intense mindset? Yes, they do. But I promise you this, they also have a body that and an ability that the average person doesn't have. There's just we must address a level of truth to that. The other aspect of this is that what we know is that if you want to see sustained changes to your body, if you want to shed all of the body fat and you want to have a lean, ripped physique, one that you're proud of, marathon training isn't going to get you there. On top of all the work that all of the marathons that those guys are running, how do we know these guys are exceptional beasts? Because they are. They may want to say they're not exceptional, but I promise you, they are exceptional human beings, is that they are able to do the type of work that they do on very limited sleep and still have a relatively muscular physique. I mean, can we be honest for a second? My man Cameron Haynes is jacked. How many marathon runners do you know are jacked? And this is where I'm going. You see, if you look, you never want to look at just the outliers. You never want to look at the people that are outside the curve. And it's great to get inspiration from them. Them men inspire the hell out of me. It's great to get inspiration from them. And you should always shoot your sights for the highest mountain, the stars, right? So if you miss the stars, at least you get the moon. But for the average person, and I was one of those people, going to the gym an hour and a half, burning 1,000 calories a workout, doing insane hit intensity type workouts, sometimes doubling up like you see the guys talk about with 75 Hard. As much as I respect those men, the plain and simple truth is that shit does not work for the majority of people. How do I know this? I know this because I've been in the fitness space for well over 17 years. Actually, if you count my time as a firefighter, my time as a soldier, well over 20, 25 years. And I'm not a chump. When I went to the fire academy, I graduated top of my class in fitness, literally lapping the entire group on these type workouts. But at the same time, I did not have a lean, ripped physique. I did not have a six-pack. I was not strong. I was doing these continuous marathon sessions, sometimes 2 times a day, and just going full bore for tilt. And if you really need proof of this, what you have to look no further than is the actual marathoner. If you think of what a marathon athlete looks like, can we be honest? Most people don't want to look like them. I would argue that 98, 99% of Americans don't want to look like a marathoner, ultra marathoner. These people, by far and large, again, if we look at the totality of the group, tend to be very, 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 very skinny individuals. They don't have a lot of muscle. And if you think about it, it makes sense. They're going over great distances. They're burning tons and tons of calories. They are literally consuming calories while they're working out just to ensure that they can, in fact, continue to work out. They are mentally tough. They have grit, but I don't want to look like any of them. I actually want to have a little bit of muscle on me. I want to be able to have conditioning, but have some strength behind it. If you're like me and you want to be that hybrid athlete, if you want to have what I would consider respectable lifts at 43 years old, I feel like I'm getting old. It's getting on me. At 43 years old, I have about almost 1,200 pound combined lift, 315 bench, 405 squat, 455 deadlift, right? Gonna get to 500 if it kills me. But I think that's respectable. At the same time, I can turn around and run a mile and a half, 8.5, 9 minutes. I have no desire to run 21 miles. I'll fucking die before I do that. As a matter of fact, I think the story of marathon kind of alludes to that. I don't know how we got someone else to run the second set of this. But when I was trying to get out of my head, when I was trying to combat the fat guy that I was, because I was almost 300 pounds at one point in time, I'm going to the gym and I'm burning 1,000 calories. So I want you to understand, I'm not looking at you and telling you not to work out intensely. That is the last thing that I'm saying. What I'm telling you is to make sure that you take that intensity in a smart manner and you are actually listening to your body and seeing what tools you have in the toolbox. Because the truth for so many of us is that we don't have the tools in the toolbox to get 2-3 hours sleep a night, go run a marathon every day, lift weights at 10 p.m., and not have our body break. It's just not in the cards. No more so than it's in the cards for me to play offensive guard on the New England Patriots. God didn't give me those tools in my toolbox to do it. I'm 5'11", I'm 190 pounds. I'm not going to be that guy. And so there comes a point in time when we have to look at the individuals and say, these individuals inspire us. What are these individuals doing that I can take and put into my life because I am a different person, I have a different life, and I have different goals. Because after 17 years in the fitness industry, what I have seen has caused more people to fail than anything else is they don't have a very clear goal. Along with that, they're also going way too hard out the gate, trying to do too much, stuff that's not sustainable. Ask yourself this question. Be honest with yourself. Are you going to start working out 2 times a day and sustain that for the rest of your life? Are you going to start working out 7 days a week and sustain that for the rest of your life? Are you going to eat a super strict diet, pushing away all vices and maintain that for the rest of your life? You have to know this about yourself. I believe in the case of guys like Goggins and the guys like Cameron Haynes, who absolutely knew when they made that decision, they had that type of mentality. When they had made that decision, they were going to stick with it. And there are probably other people that haven't become world famous that do a very, very similar training regimen to them. Just because someone else does it doesn't mean it's the right fit for you. Again, I go back to the idea of me playing in the NFL. A program that an NFL football player is doing in order to be literally the top of the top of the top, we're talking the cream of the crop, to be able to move large men off of the line of scrimmage is a program that I don't need. It is a program that I'm not going to do, a program that doesn't benefit me and what I'm looking for in life. I am looking to have, again, a lean physique. I am looking, again, to not be embarrassed at the beach. I am looking to be able to defend my family. I am a BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. I am looking to have the stamina to be able to go round after round, but at the same time, be able to have the strength so that when I do get a hold of you, yes, I can mirror that with the technique in order to make sure that I have the highest probability of a successful outcome in grappling or self-defense. My goal is to have enough strength that if I hit you, you feel it. Right? I didn't really feel confident when I was a super conditioning cardio monster because I didn't feel like I had any oomph, any pop behind my punch. And I knew that the only chance that I had was to simply grind you down. And while there's something to be said for that, the reality is that's not the best game plan to go in with. So this really brings me to the point of today's video is marathon training sessions are not the best way for you to change your body. Because when we look at the people that go and do these, and they do these endless bouts of cardio, if you want to do the cardio because you love cardio, knock yourself out. If you want to do the cardio because you're concerned about heart health, knock yourself out. If you want to do the cardio because you get this magical thing people talk about, runner's high, knock yourself out. But if the goal for you is to change the way that your body looks, to make it look, as women love to say, more tone, or if you're a young man or an older man like me that's wanting to put on lean muscle and get jacked as you can, as big as you can, then 45 minutes of cardio 6-7 days a week is a piss poor way to go about it. Because you see, with cardio, it has several limiting factors when it comes to changing the way that your body looks and sustain that look for a long time. One, your body's going to get used to it really quickly, right? And eventually you're going to burn less calories doing the exact same work. Two, we look at cardiovascular activity like your running, your swimming, your elliptical. The truth is, this builds very little lean muscle mass outside of that initial phase where you start doing it and you're using muscles that you haven't used. And then really part of this is because of reason three, it becomes a giant calorie suck. Now, one of the things that I've seen with people and dieting is the truth is most of these people are not struggling with overeating in the traditional sense that people think. They're not out there eating 5, 6, 7, 8,000 calories a day. For the average person that's overweight, that's not where the problem is coming in. They may be having 1 or 2 big meals. They may be eating horrible food that is causing their body to be inflamed and retain fat, right? But the truth of the matter is, my biggest recommendation for most people is to eat more calories. They're simply not eating enough. They're just eating a bunch of bad shit and they're not working out. And what we're seeing is those things combined is a reduction in muscle mass. And when that reduction in muscle mass happens, well, guess what, fam? Now we're going to see that your BMR is going to drop. And when your BMR drops, then you become even worse off because now you have a slower metabolism. But if we want to increase that metabolism, then what we have to do is we need to put on some lean muscle. A pound of muscle is going to burn 6 calories per hour at rest, whereas a pound of muscle is only a pound of fat is only going to burn 2. So if we want to see this change, then what we tell people to do is we need to get you eating healthy and we need to get you lifting. And eating healthy does not mean removing every vice that you've ever had. Our goal for you, 80 to 85% of the time, let your food come from whole, nutritious sources. But if it's your kid's birthday, for the love of God, have some cake. It's called LIVEN, as my man Matthew McConaughey would say. It's living. Life is too short for this bullshit where you cannot enjoy or partake in the celebrations of awesome things. Any program that tells you can't do that is full of shit. You just can't have chocolate cake every night. The other thing is actually creating a resistance training program that is going to help you reach your goals. Resistance training. Now, one of the big arguments, again, in fitness is, should I be exercising? Is exercising training what's better? Yada, yada, yada. As a country that's headed to being over 50% obese, not just overweight, obese by the year 2030, fam, I'll take any type of movement people are doing at the beginning. If it gets them up off their ass and gets them out the door and moving, I'm all for it. With that being said, there is no debate. Training beats exercising. And the time that I would recommend people to transfer to training is when they hit that plateau. When you first start getting into working out, you really don't know what to train for. You don't really have a goal. You've never worked out before. Listen, the truth is, you're like, man, if I can lose 5, 10, 15 pounds, I'll be happy. Even if you're overweight, even if you're severely overweight or obese, you start to believe, like, listen, if I can just get down 5, 10, 15 pounds, Jesus, that's something, and you're right. But here is the double edge that comes with this. You're never going to be satisfied. I think that's a very important thing for you to understand from the outset. If you're 300 pounds and you get down to 200 pounds, I promise you, by when you get to 200 pounds, you're going to be like, wonder if I could do 190. because I bet I could be more ripped at one. It's the nature of the beast. It's a blessing and a curse. And as long as you keep it in a healthy perspective, and you're pumped about the fact that, I get something else to train for, then it's okay. If you look in the mirror and you still hate yourself at 200 because you're not 190, when your ass started off at 300, now we need to pull out the long couch, sit down and have a conversation with you. So when you hit that plateau, instead of getting frustrated, instead of quitting, which so many people do, what I want you to understand is now it's time for us to switch from exercising, if that's what you were doing, and start training. And when we train, we're going to be training for a specific result. We're going to look to the future. I recommend 12 weeks at a time. I'm going to look 12 weeks out, and what do I want to accomplish? Where do I want to be? Make it a SMART goal. Make it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-driven. Make sure that you can clearly quantify, I hit the goal or I did not hit the goal. And now get with somebody, highly recommend us, but anyone will do that's actually a good coach. Get with a good coach. Let them develop a program and a plan to get you there. And now, instead of just going to the gym to burn calories, let's go there with a plan in mind to win the day. Because when we win the day, eventually we'll win the year, and you will be happy that you actually followed the program and the plan. Remember, fam, there is no way for you to go into your workout and burn 1,000 calories a day and think that that is all it's going to take to get the body that you want. There is a rhyme and reason to this. There's an art and there's a science. And if you are not classically trained in this, well, my friends, it's time for you to find someone that is. An investment in your health is always an investment in wealth. Do not be penny wise and pound foolish. Find a professional that will help you put purpose behind your workout. Guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you take this to heart. Remember, it's not always about how hard you work. It's about working out smart, and we want you to be much, much smarter every time you walk into the gym. As always, guys, we hope you embrace life storms the only way you should embrace them, and that's head down, horns up, running right first into them. Again, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The HERD Truth. Until next time, fam, salute.